Thank you. Thank you so much, esteemed viewers, for choosing to join us again today. This is your most informing, engaging, educative program, Holistic Wellness, brought to you by Madam Anne Karambu-Mwangi, together with Salem Consultants. Holistic Wellness is careful to bring you the right information to help you grow to become that whole person. And today we are talking about this sensitive but powerful and lovely topic. Guess what it is? Dating, courtship, and marriage. Yeah, that's dating, courtship, and marriage. What is dating? Today we'll be looking at dating as a topic. Therefore, before we go too far, kindly get on Facebook, search for Anne Karambu-Mwangi. Get to join us there. You can share your thoughts with us. What question, what concern about dating would you like to hear from my panel? They are well informed. They are a resourceful panel. Therefore, get there and share with your friends. Also share with your friends on WhatsApp, and we shall appreciate. Are you looking for love? And are you finding it too difficult to find the right person to love? Either to love you or you to love them. The right person, you asking. And is there anything like the right man, the right lady or woman? Well, is there anything like love today? Someone is asking. My panel is set to take us through that journey. Are you ready for my panel? Awesome. Good to have you, Pastor Rose.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. Good to have you, Madam Anne.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Let's go straight. What is dating?
Maybe we would introduce the whole topic of dating, courtship, and marriage. And as we are doing the introduction of dating, courtship, and marriage, we also need to ask ourselves, why dating, why courtship, why marriage? Remember, when we don't understand the purpose of something, then there is a likelihood of misusing it. And you realize not unless we know why do I need to get, why do I need to date? Why do I need to get married? Why is it that now when I reach at this certain age that I would be required to get married? So this is where we start at what is this that has happened? We were just talking about teenagers and telling them not to get involved in sexual relationships, not to get involved in boy-girl relationship, especially those that are in high school. And then all of a sudden now we are talking about dating. What is this that has happened? What has transited to there? So if you remember the psychosocial stages of the psychologists we had talked about, and I remember we mentioned there are stages that start from birth up to the time a child is a teenager, up to the time when now a person is a youth. So at this stage between the age of 19 and around 25, this is the age where the young person is being prepared now for marriage. The teenage is preparation to adulthood, but the age between 19 and 25 is the age now where the young person is being prepared to get into a family life. Remember, the cycle of a human being is that definitely, just like all other animals and every other thing, that there is this age that will reach and you require to reproduce of yourself. So this is again that age where now I am supposed to get a spouse so that I get into marriage. So it is a natural process. Apart from it being something that I will feel. It is also a natural process. So there is a readiness that one feels when they reach at that age of wanting now to be with another of the opposite sex. So this is the age where you feel now informed, like you're ready to start dating. Unfortunately, we don't really understand what is dating. So the purpose of dating per se is not supposed to be like, it's not marriage. Dating is not courtship. So if we don't understand those three names or purpose of each of them, then we will fit in the wrong one. So yes, that is like what we would want to have a discussion on, so that we can be able to help that young person, that parent also, to help the child be able to navigate this journey of dating and courtship the right way. And also
or the price, the shop, and the occasion to fit that dress. So not everybody will fit in your life. There is a particular person God has ordained. And as a church, we start on the knees. Before you go out to date, you have to start on the knees, because you are praying that God leads you to the right person. You may see so many, but there is one ordained for you. That's where we start, from God. And then he orders our steps in the dating. And I appreciate that there is the dating. Definitely you can't marry somebody you don't know, the likes and don'ts. You have to start there. And let it not be a case of Leah. Oh, the
exchange happened.
Yeah.
All right, so Pastor Rose says it's irrelevant, and indeed that is right. And for information, my panel is a panel of born-again Christians.
Yes.
They uphold morality in the best way. And let's get started. Pastor Rose mentioned something that you get to know each other.
Yeah.
Does that happen to the time for dating, or let's begin from there?
maybe first of all, we need to do a definition of the word dating. And it comes from the idea of setting a date. It is simply setting a date.
Simple.
Yes, it is just that we are setting a certain day, time, location, where we will meet and get to know each other more. That is simply what dating is.
But even as you continue with that, look, whoever mentions dating, a lot of other things come up.
Yeah, definitely. But the purpose of a date specifically is just that I've set a day, time, place, and we will be meeting with someone. I will not, of course, be meeting alone. So a date cannot happen when, of course, I'm going alone. So definitely I'll be meeting another. And in this perspective, it is a person of the opposite sex. We are very specific on this because we know, of course, we are living in a society where people have decided to go a different direction. And of course, there is even dating of people of the same sex. So we cannot assume that that is not happening, but that is not what we are talking about in this forum. On this forum, we are specifically talking about dating a person of the opposite sex. Yes, so of course, when two people agree to set together a certain time and place for recreation and fellowship. Remember, recreation and fellowship. What happens with when I go out for recreation, like we are playing, we are dancing, we are swimming, there is a likelihood of me exhibiting my true person. But maybe I will not be able to present that person in a church setup. Maybe if it is in church, I will come, we pray, and we sing praises. Those things may not be able to come out of who I really am. So a dating experience helps me to understand this person, the other part that is not exposed in a formal setup. I don't know whether we understand that. So the next one is fellowship. When we are fellowshipping with someone, what is happening is that I'm getting information, or I am building that person in a certain way, and I am also reciprocating the same, receiving the same fellowship from that person. So there is recreation, there is fellowship. Remember, the purpose of dating is to understand the other person of the opposite sex. And remember, even at the point we are at dating, we are not yet in a relationship.
You need to set that very clear to
Yes.
everyone.
So it is not a relationship. It is not supposed to be considered a relationship. Unfortunately, most young people are not able to define these relationships. So immediately, maybe a young man asks me out for a date. The first thing that clicks in the mind of the lady, and this is something that happens, especially to young people, to young girls, immediately I click that I am into a relationship because I was called for the first date. It is good to understand that dating is not a relationship, because the purpose of dating, is to know one another, is to get to understand that other person, what are their interests, what are their abilities, are they people who are compatible, are there people I can be able to work with, are they people I can be able to allow into my space of my life. So if I go with the notion that this person, we are in a relationship, already the word relationship, or what entails in relationship, what is going to happen is that I will block. The relationship aspect will block the opportunity for me to get to know that person more. I don't know whether that is clear.
All right. So we say that dating, it is not, it doesn't mean starting it doesn't mean you're already in a relationship. All right. Yes, you know, it's so amazing, and it's something new. It looks new to us to know that dating does not mean you are already in a relationship.
Yes, it is not. And that is where the mistake comes in. I said, in fact, I think just before we went on break, I was saying that what happens the moment I have concluded that we are already in a relationship, there is it's like it creates a block for us even to have an opportunity to know one another. Because remember, the moment I understand that I am in a relationship, it means now that I'll start, most of the times there's the likelihood of not being yourself. But when it is just familiarity, you just want to know each other on a free ground, that one creates the best opportunity to know one another. And the best thing to do, even of course when we are on dating now, is when also you don't do dating alone. You can do dating maybe with other friends. Just an opportunity to have an environment where someone is able to be themselves. Some of those places can be recreational parks, can be swimming areas, can be parks, can be church, can be fellowships, it can be acacia. All those ones are avenues for dating. And remember, you have made it very clear at the start that this is not a relationship. So you define what it is that you're in. Of course, you can start at the point of, I would want you as a friend, I would want to know you more. Simple. At that point. Because if you go to the next level now of, we are in a relationship leading to marriage, what is going to happen is that definitely one is not able to exhibit their true characters when that has already been mentioned. And remember, this is a person maybe you have met for the first time. So you've not had an opportunity to know even how they behave, you've not understood who they are at all. So this one helps you to become the starting point of laying a foundation for the relationship. Remember, dating is meant to become the foundation for which a relationship leading to marriage is going to be laid upon. But now, unfortunately, we get into a relationship, those datings, and immediately we start talking marriage, we start talking children, we start talking how we will buy cars, how we will live, and the very first one is sex, which messes up everything. Because the moment now we have gone to that, we have taken the opportunity to be able to understand who is this person that I am relating with. So when these other things come before knowing one another, you will never have an opportunity to know who it is that you are dealing with. When you bring relationship first, when you bring sex first, when you bring even the discussion of marriage first, that one hinders you to know that other person. Yeah.
So that means we are getting the right definition of dating. It's not the beginning of a relationship.
Yes. Now, of course, we can ask ourselves, like, when do I know that I am ready to get into a relationship? One, the first place to know that I am ready, it's when I can be able to define myself.
What do you mean?
When I can be able to say comfortably who I am, what I want, what are my aspirations, what are my boundaries, what are my limitations, and which direction am I going. When I reach that place, now I am ready to start dating. Unfortunately, so many people don't know who they are. So it's like people get into relationships to feel good, to feel accepted, to feel loved, which is not supposed to be the motivation for me getting into a
relationship.
Dating, into a friendship.
Into a friendship.
Dating is supposed to create a friendship, not a relationship leading to marriage.
Not nothing, just a friendship.
We are getting to understand each other. Remember, by this time I am dating this person is a stranger. So that person is a stranger to me. The only opportunity I have to know them, it is through those dates. So I need to know myself first, so that I can be able to even understand what kind of a person will I accommodate into my space. You get?
That's right.
Now, many people get into that space having not understood themselves. So definitely anything that is brought on the table, I absorb it. Like I have not set boundaries of sexuality. And when we are at this, I would want to mention that most of the dating or the dates that are set, unfortunately, most young people use them for sex. And when I mean sex, it does not have to be penetrative sex. There's a name that is very common with young people today. A word that is called making out. Making out, what young people call making out is actually sex. Because anything that arouses your sexual desire, be it a kiss, be it fondling, be it touching, be it what you watch, that is sex. So the moment this is what has come before me getting into the relationship, I have already closed that book, that chapter of being able to know this person more. I will not, because what will be drawing me closer to this person is that the attraction, the lustful desires, of what I already started. And like if I was able to control myself and was able to understand this person without any being touchy or going to those extents of now arousing the sexual desires at the point of dating. And I keep asking young people, if I was to allow every other man that I date, because there is a likelihood that you may date several people in the process of dating, not courtship. In the process of dating, you might find yourself dating a number. So if you allow every other man that comes to your life to pass through your body, how many will you have slept with by the time you're getting to the point of marriage? How many will have touched your body because you're calling it makeout? How many will have accessed your body by the time you're getting married? Because you may get as many as 10, 15.
Yeah.
So when I have not set clear boundaries concerning my life, I am prone to expose myself to things that I am not ready for. So if you've not set those boundaries, you've not defined who you are, you've not defined your principles, you've not defined your boundaries, keep off dating.
Keep off dating.
Yes.
Pastor,
Yeah.
the young people in the church, are we having such, do I call them pitfalls, or do we have a misunderstanding of what exactly dating is in the church, or is it a secular word?
You can't lack a few cases because when we have the parts where teens meet or the young people, they congregate together, maybe in a seminar, maybe in a singing, they organize some singing. You won't lack a few who will misunderstand maybe the attraction. And just to emphasize on that, when you look at men and women, when it comes to a man, the attraction is physical. When you come to a woman, the attraction is emotional. And that is why you find most ladies fall trap in this dating. He called me for a cup of coffee. The man had no other issue. But since I was called by so and so, then it means that there is something. And actually there isn't. It was just plain coffee, and that's all. So even for the young people, they should understand who they are. If it is a lady, I'm going out for that date, be it a brother who has called me, not necessarily for a relationship. It is just that. We take the coffee, and that's all. And it happens if there is a brother who is used to calling other sisters for dates. The other sisters will brand this other. Maybe they'll ask you, what was it, him or her, what did you discuss? You know, it becomes public. So let me say, in the environment of the church, the exposure is that they fellowship. But some take advantage. You can't lack one or two.
So it happens. And the other question is dating a common word, or in the church, as a church, are we familiar with that word dating, or is it a secular word? You don't mention such words in the church.
Of course, nowadays, the young people, I've heard it so much until I asked them, what is this you're talking about? They have it.
They have it.
Even if they don't tell the pastor, it's there.
It's there.
In their world.
In their world.
It's there.
Because they're interacting with every other when again in church or not.
Yes.
And that takes us, other than having dating as a platform to get to know each other, and you've given us examples of where we can go out and have that in recreational centers, in the parks and all that. Also in geishas. What else? How else should dating be handled? Or Yeah, because there's a problem in the church and even outside the church today.
This remember is a stage.
Yes, it's just a stage.
Yes, this is a stage in the life of every human being.
Yeah.
So however name it's given in whatever sector, it is a stage. And I said, remember when we were starting, I said that I have come from teenage. Teenage is where I was being prepared for adulthood.
Yes.
So I am now from 18, around 18 there to around 25 years. I am at this stage where I am transiting into a serious relationship leading to marriage. So at this point, naturally, the body is ready. Naturally, the mind is ready. Society is already asking questions. Why are you not bringing anyone? In fact, I am an expert in that. Those that are my friends know that I always keep reminding young people this.
It's time.
Yes, it is time. So, just in case they have forgotten.
Someone says, I know that. Thank you.
So, of course, my friends, I know some of them are on their necks. So, this, whatever sector it is,
yes,
it is something that is happening. So, the point is, I am just starting to get to know the person of the opposite sex now at a closer point.
Yeah.
And that's why I say the first one is, do I know myself? Do I know what I want? Have I appreciated myself enough? There are people who get into relationships with a person of the opposite sex to gain affirmation. That should not be the reason as to why I am getting into a relationship. It should not be the reason as to why I'm going for that date. I now feel affirmed. No. I should be so comfortable with who I am that I can afford to accommodate someone else into my life. That is when I know I am ready for a relationship. Now, the next one is that, now remember, the purpose of, we have always have an opportunity of bringing out the best of ourselves through other people. Most of the things that we know, Festus and Pastor, we have known them because someone came and was able to see them in us. Most of the characters that we have, the characteristics, abilities, and everything, we don't know we have them. Most of them we are able to get to know we have them in the process of interacting with each other. So this is another platform of being able to even enhance the abilities of one another. But I am assuring you that will not happen when we bring the sexual aspect and the relationship aspect, because we will not be able to appreciate that other person in that area. We will now start thinking those other desires, which is not what is supposed to be happening. So I said it enhances self-confidence, social interactions, skills, respect for one another. If I can be able to date a guy, I went out with him for the whole day. And in fact, it is the best avenue to practice self-control.
Did you hear that?
Yes, because remember when you're in the house alone, there is really, what are you controlling? Nothing. But when you are able now to go out even for a month or a year with a young man as a girl, a young lady as the boy, as the young man. A young man, and of course, you are able to control your sexual desires for one another, then you are able to understand that I am able to respect that person. Because remember here, the word is respect. I respect your space, he respects my space. And also respects my aspirations. Because of course, my aspirations is not to get into a sexual relationship now. So if I come with that one on the table, the first day of the date, This is who I am. This is Anne. I am this. I am the other. These are my desires. These are my aspirations. These are the things I have worked. These are my principles that I work with. So I lay them on the table as we are discussing who we are. So if that person is able to respect that, then that is a plus. Because already you are like, wow, this is a nice person who can be able to respect me this much. And of course, in that list of the persons you would want to make your life partner, that one becomes a tick, that this person can respect you. Not that person who jumps on you immediately the first time you meet. It says a lot about that person. If the only thing that person is thinking about your curvy, your hot, and those other things that people call each other and the sexy thing, if that is all you can tell me, then it is an X. Because it means there is nothing else that person is thinking about concerning me apart from my bodily attraction. So that one is enhanced. Again, it also enhances the person's worth, my worth. I feel proud that I was able to navigate through that journey, and I came out as I had planned, as I had projected, as I had intended. The next one is that, of course, it also enhances value and dignity. So, of course, I'll feel that I'm a person of value. I'll feel I am dignified because I was able to set goals, I was able to set principles, and I followed all of them. Then, there, of course, a healthy relationship should always begin. Now, this is very important. Spiritual. We are spiritual beings, although physical. That our lives starts in the spiritual, then it's manifested in the physical. That is a topic for another day when we are dealing spiritual matters. We may not be able to really understand that point clearly, but we are more informed of who we are from the spiritual angle than the physical. Pastor will be able to explain that a little bit. That if we do not share the same point with this person that I am going, okay, no. The first point is I understand my spiritual studying. I know what I want in matters spiritual. So even when this person is calling me for a date, even when I am accepting, because it is not a must you accept all dates. Yes. From the very start, there are dates I will be called for, because it is not in line with who I am, I'm going to say no. So I will not even open that door for me to be able to get into it, because already at the spiritual level, we are not in the same line. So when we are talking about dating, we are again, and that's why it is very important, the starting point. Do I understand who I am? Do I understand what I want? Because if I don't understand...
All right, beautiful. So, dating.
So I was at the spiritual aspect, the spiritual, that we can be able to connect in matters spiritual, and the fact that what that person shares is what I share. Remember, if I don't know myself, I will not be able to know who am I allowing for a date. Now, the next one is on matters intellectual. There is intellectual levels. Of course, how does that person, are you able to understand each other even as you're sharing? Is that person able to fit in your space? In matters, of course, now when we get into intellectual, there is the issue of purpose. Where am I going? Can this person be part of my journey? Can this person be a motivation to me fulfilling my purpose? Does this person share the same interests that I do? Does this person share the same dreams? And then there is the aspect of personality. When we talk about personalities, I think we will be able to do it one of the shows. the personality types,
No.
normally God has his own way of matching, because I have never seen a sanguine and a sanguine married.
They'll bring problems in the house.
I have not seen that yet. Even if then it is a sanguine, there will be a little level of one is higher than the other. So of course, because it is a natural way that opposites attract. You got it? The opposites attract. So again, you need to understand in matters personality. Can I be able to stand this personality? Can I be able to handle this person? Now, our first point is, do I know myself?
Do I know myself?
I don't know whether we are able to get that. Because I cannot be able to define all these purpose, motivation, interest, dreams, if I don't have any. So they are supposed to become the gauge for which I use to be able to understand who do I allow into my space. So I cannot allow the right person if I don't understand what I want, what is the right person. So of course, I would want Pastor to handle just a little bit on the aspect of spiritual. Why is spiritual so important? As almost the foundation for which I say yes, even to a date. Now we are not getting into a relationship. For me, even to say yes to that date, the spiritual aspect is key.
But do we consider that before Pastor answers? Do we consider that really?
We are in the ideal. In this discussion, we are in the ideal. We are not real. Yes.
Oh, okay, we are getting deep. Yes, Pastor.
When it comes to the spiritual part of it,
Yes.
and remember, for me, I'm standing in for the church. I see it is very important, because even Paul said, do not be yoked with an unbeliever. He knew that the spiritual part of it is very important. And there is also another good example. When I look at Abraham, when the right time came for Isaac, they had their own way of doing things. Abraham sent the servant, go to my people. And the servant was asking, suppose I don't get a girl. He was very specific. He knew those people worshipped a certain God that was familiar to his home. He didn't tell the servant, if you miss, then there is an alternative. He really emphasized, because he knew the kind of girl who would be brought in that home would affect the son. So if you are a believer, if you know who God is, if you have value of worshiping God in the right way, if you have the value of reading the word, if you have the value of praying, that is your foundation is based on God. Leave alone the masks people put because you want to show off, you worship raising the hands or falling down. Leave alone that. What is the work of this person daily? Is there a relationship with God? Because if you don't value that, when you will one time come to their home, things will be different. You will not have a common base that now let's go pray. One will be asking, what is prayer? So it is very important to know the spiritual part of each person. And as Madam Ann says, even for your acceptance for the date, that one is also another part you should be careful. Because if somebody calling you just for the sake and maybe has a hidden agenda, you know, even the Holy Spirit will reveal to you also that this person, as much as you think is the right person, don't go. So we need God.
We need God. And of course, the Holy Spirit knows the mind of God,
Yeah.
and God is able to tell us who we are associating with. And our eyes also need to be open. And that gives me to have two questions for you. Who should be on the higher level spiritually? Is it the lady? Is it the gentleman? And is it possible to date a person who we don't share the same faith?
Okay, the second question contradicts what we said first. So let me, I don't know whether we are yet at the point of questions, because I feel there are several points that I need to emphasize on.
Yeah.
But on the part of spirituality, the things of the spirit have no gender. So there is no one who is supposed to be spiritual than the other. We are all meant to know the Lord the same way. Levels of spirituality, I really don't know the spirituometer that is being used to measure, but the way I understand the things of God is that every human on the face of the earth needs God and only thrives and survives on God. So there is whatever, whether it is at the level of dating, relationship, marriage, no one is supposed to be higher than the other. We should all strive to understand and know God personally. Because although I am getting to a relationship leading to marriage, I am not getting married. That person I'm bringing in my life is not going to seek God for me. No, I will seek God for myself. So we are supposed to endeavor to know God for ourselves. Now, there is then another question, of course, of whether I can date a person who we don't share the same faith. That one will depend with, now, the first point that we said, do I know myself? Definitely, if I am dating a person we don't share the same faith, I don't know myself. In fact, I even don't know where I'm going. So this is not a debate of whether I can date a person who is not of the same faith or not. Because it is clear that I don't know who I am. So what I should be working on is not whether I will date that person or not. It is working on knowing who I am. Because clearly, I don't know who I am. I think that is well answered. Now, there are three dimensions that we've just mentioned on a relationship. One, it is spiritual. There is the spiritual dimension. There is the intellectual dimension. And there is a physical dimension. We've said the spiritual now are things in line with God. Who am I? Who does God say I am?
Yes.
Who am I in God? What is my place in God? Who do I understand God to be? Am I a person who follows God's principles? So then, when I'm getting even into that dating, I will keep God's principles because I understand the spiritual aspect. The second aspect is, of course, intellectual. Has to do with the mind. Has to do with my aspirations. Has to do with my motivations, interests, abilities, even academic performance and everything. So the intellectual. Then there is now the physical. Unfortunately, this is where people start. That is where now I was saying these other ones are ideal. Where spiritual and intellectual starts is ideal. What normally happens is that most of all the dates start at the physical. And that is where it is not supposed to start. Because remember, physical has to do with purely feelings and emotions. There is no reason in emotions and feelings. You do not understand that. I said there is no reason. Emotions do not reason.
They don't.
Feelings don't reason.
That means you can have feelings for anyone, for anything.
Yes, because they don't reason. The moment I have thrown my emotions into something and I am completely consumed into it emotionally, it is very hard for me to reason. And this is the biggest challenge we have with especially young people. You get to the farthest length and you don't know how to go back because you are fully immersed in the emotions.
Yeah.
And that's why dating should never start at the physical.
That's how we begin.
Yes, it should never start at the physical. In fact, if you go for a date and the guy is explaining how you are curvy, how you are what, and it's really sexy and everything, please run away. Because you will be entangled emotionally and you will never be able to understand that person.
So it
the moment you've allowed that space, and this is what all you discuss every time you meet, your chat has nothing to the way I slept and the way I thought about you, the way I cannot sleep, I had to spend a whole night on bed and it's only you that was in my mind. Please run away. Because you will never get to know who you're getting involved in. And the most likely thing is that you will be entangled in that relationship and it will be very hard to get out. Because emotions don't reason. If you don't get anything else on this show, please understand, young people, that emotions don't reason.
They don't.
So don't try to force emotions to reason that this person is somebody else's husband. No. I have already given myself emotionally. So the body is telling you no. You gave me this space. You allowed me into this space. And remember, it is a matter of choice. We have an opportunity. We have what it takes to tell ourselves, no, not now, not this far. We can't go this far. So when, of course, a relationship, I think I have said that when a relationship starts at the physical level, we will get entangled emotionally. And it is so hard to come out. It is hard. And that's where most people get hurt. Remember, it was just dating. Then I entangled myself. And for young men, or for the men, remember Pastor said here that them it is physical. The woman brings the whole heart and their clan into the relationship. Yes, in fact, the first date, already the mind is thinking, wow, how does their parents look like? How will the sister think about me? Am I going to fit in their life? Is it going to work? The guy is like, wow, this is great creation. He has not yet gone beyond what he is seeing in front of him. But the girl is completely deep into the relationship. So if I did define the relationship from the start, of course, the purpose of defining a relationship, defining a date for the girl is so that you don't involve your emotions too much. The first thing you should always be able to put on the table is, what is this? If the guy says, I just want to know us to know each other, please stick to that. Don't go beyond the knowing each other. Just be satisfied with it until the person has said, now we can move to the next level. But the moment we allow our emotions to sink, we will be hurt. And of course, the emotions come when the physical is manifested more. Because if all we go and discuss is how God loves me and how I got saved and how I went for that mission and how we will go for that other kesha, and every other time all we are discussing is my aspirations, my dreams, my motivations, interests, how will that one affect my emotions? No way. No way. But if all I'll be discussing is like my legs, like my face, your eyes, look what, if that is what I am described every time we meet, I am assuring you, my emotions will go. And they don't reason.
So that means if we begin from the physical, it dominates the whole thing. That means it's very possible to get into a relationship, then into marriage, and there's no proper mutual agreement of why you are getting there.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
there's a saying, nowadays it's not there. It's not as much pronounced as it was then, that love is blind.
Yeah.
But they used to say that marriage has a way of opening those eyes. The blindness, all the blindness that was in love, fights eyes in marriage.
So the truth is that love is not blind.
No, it is not.
It is not.
It has never been.
Beautiful.
It has never been.
That's
In
right.
fact, God is love and God is not
It's
blind.
not blind.
He
That's
isn't.
right. That's right.
But the truth of that confusion that used to happen and happens even now is the emotion aspect.
Yeah.
In fact, it is not love. It is that, in fact, is it?
Infatuation. Okay. Emotional horizons.
It is an emotional. What you've done is just you've thrown your emotions ahead of your mind.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you get that.
Yeah.
I have put my emotions so deeply that there is no reason anywhere.
Yeah.
And you cannot get them out of them.
No, you can't. No, please. If you place emotions ahead of reason, you will never be able to bring reason ahead of emotions. It does not happen.
Viewers, well, let me see who says what here. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Agnes Akifuma, Karamulobi, Faith Blessing. We thank you, Favor. Thank you, Felicitas. Thank you, Kate, and doing a great job. Oh, thank you. We appreciate. Let me see. All right. Thank you, Kevin, for joining us. You friends are doing a good job. All right. God bless you. Doing a great job. Thank you, Tabitha. We appreciate. Thank you, Winnie, Stephen, Julius. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Man, when you allow emotions to come first, how do we overcome giving our bodies first or concentration when we come together for
When we define ourselves,
yes,
that is the starting point. When I define myself, before any other person comes into the space of my life, I know myself. I am so clear about who I am. And I am so comfortable myself being me that I can afford to accommodate another person into my space. What happens when I don't know who I am? Of course, definitely any kind of praise, even if it is like, of course, most of the times you hear people really getting excited when somebody has affirmed them. But somebody is only supposed to confirm what you already know. They're not supposed to be the people informing who you are. You already know who you are. In fact, you understand that you have a nice shape, everything. You know it before they start telling you. But if you're seeking it from them, there is a problem. And in fact, there is a likelihood of falling in this pitfall of putting emotions first, because the first description of you that you have never had in your life messes your emotional status completely. And you think somebody has told you a heavenly word.
But how you know
Yes.
describing you.
Excuse me, being beautiful is beautiful.
But how do we get that mentality and that notion out of our young people?
That one, not unless we get into the identity crisis topic that we discussed very clearly, that has to do with knowing myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
So kindly please follow the talk on New Tech TV that we discussed on identity crisis. I think we did a complete series of being able to appreciate us. Because if I don't appreciate myself, I will not be able to get into another person. What will I be presenting? I don't know myself. So I am having confusion. So what I will definitely take there is confusion. Then I meet somebody else who is confused. So we both bring confusion in something we call relationship. And that's why, of course, you will realize now relationships are not defined. Most of what we see is confusion. I am in school, in college. I am first year. I am living in a hostel. I am using my parents' money. But because I went to college and I found this guy who told me I am beautiful, now I allowed this guy to come into my life. And we, of course, had sex. And we did not know whether this is the right time. Then a baby comes. I have a baby in first year living in the hostel with a house help. Is that not confusion?
Oh my.
Because both of us were confused as we came into the relationship.
So the best place to define.
Yes, the two of us were confused. Because if I am clear about who I am, I will know that, yes, you have come. Sawa, just stay where you are. Thank you so much for loving me now. But remember, we are in first year. We have 4 years to go. I believe it is not too long for you. So wait. And we are going to wait. No touching, no nothing, no sex. We are going to wait for 4 years.
Today?
Yes, it happens.
On this earth?
Yes, it does.
It happens.
Yes, it does.
Young people, I know you're saying.
We have so many people that it has happened.
Very true.
No, it is happening. The fact that you are messing up does not mean everybody is
messing up.
Yes, no.
That's right.
No one, everybody is not. Not everybody who does not understand themselves. People know who they are. Yes. So, when of course now I have gotten into that mess, I have added my parents the cost of a house help. I have added my parents the cost of taking care of a child that they had not planned to do. Because the first place in school fees, it's school fees that they were paying. Now confusion has happened because I was confused about who I am. So this is how serious it is that we are supposed to be clear about these matters. Now there is a second point which I want us to handle. Then I will have Pastor, this is her part. But I will just mention it so that she picks it up. The second prerequisite to dating is understanding God's standards.
I found a few dating services near you.
What does God say about dating? What are the standards that he has put? Of course, one is that I must stay pure, sexually pure, before God.
Very key.
Not because somebody has come and I am feeling what I am feeling, then of course I compromise. No. The second one is of course, I understand that this person we are not married yet. We are just getting to know one another, and getting to know one another is not sexual. Because even when you grow, even when you get married, you will be meeting new people. Do you have sex with every man you meet when you get married? No. Do you have sex with every worker that is smiling at you in the office? No. So why are you doing it when you are young?
Why take your dinner during your breakfast time?
Yes, that's a nice one. Ask again.
We are defining dating and we are getting helped. It is possible to keep pure. I can witness that. But there's a problem today.
The problem is just confusion. It's just that, and I think we have explained where the problem is coming from. It is just because we are starting everything at the physical level. So when we put physical, and remember I said emotions don't reason.
Don't reason. That one. Don't forget.
They don't.
They don't.
So even if we try putting reason in them, they will not. They can't. They don't know how to reason.
That's powerful.
So godly standards,
Godly standards.
I will not handle them when pastor is here.
Thank you so much. There is a verse I would like to read from the Song of Solomon, or Songs of Songs, chapter 3, verses 5. I charge you, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, by the royals and by the hinds of the field, that you stir not, nor awake my love, till it pleases.
You can do it again.
I charge you, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, by the royals and by the hinds of the field, that ye stir not up, nor awake my love, till he pleases.
Yes, yes.
Unajua wakati unapika uji unakoroga.
Yes.
Kuna wale wanasema isiwe na vijana in a certain language.
Yeah.
So it means there is a time that is set for that love,
Yes.
and it is meant for marriage. It is not like sukuma wiki for every person. So when it comes to the godly standards, there is one thing that has continually helped me in my life, and that is the fear of God. Ask yourself, whatever I'm doing, even if the pastor is not there, even if my parents are not there,
Yeah.
God is seeing. You know, sometimes we hide from people, but we cannot hide from God. So, which is your self-worth? If you look at the young man Joseph, he said, how can I do such an evil
Yes.
to my God?
Yes.
Not to the land of Egypt, but to my God. So when you put that value,
Yes.
that there is God you have to fear, and God who can make you at a point
Yes.
leave the court, at a point tell the person no, and I won't do it.
Yes.
So it is very important to put God first, because he's the one who initiates the relationship. Number 2, self-worth. How do I value myself? I being in the Lord. I being born again. Jesus values me so much. And therefore, I cannot betray him. Because I've realized that there are some pretenders, hypocrites, who come just to destroy your life. And their target is just to go to bed with you. That is their target, and then they say, I did it. But if you have those standards, self-worth, and also, as a young lady, as a young man, there is a time limit of everything. I don't go to date somebody at around 9 in his house.
Yes.
Definitely. What message are you sending?
Yeah.
Okay, I was saying that even the time that you associate with the person that dating, remember, as Madam Karambo puts it,
Yes.
it's not yet marriage. So at that time, you also have the discipline. The food is placed nearer and nearer with no other person present. What happened? She was raped. And the range that came after with the brothers, it was total mess. So it is good also to know there are particular places you need to date. If it is dating also, time, let you be in a place that there are other people. Remember, this is not your husband. Remember, this is just a stranger also. So, can you keep your body as the temple of the Holy Spirit?
Beautiful.
As Madam Karambo said, you are not to be touched by anybody. And at this juncture, there are some young men who are so much fond of hugging. Corona, I think, has taught us also we can greet one another without.
No, it never taught the young people. Young people
I don't know.
All
hug.
over.
No,
They are
continue to
still
hug.
hugging.
Yes.
I
no.
don't know. I
So
thought
much.
No,
they have
Corona is
stopped.
out there. It is
Okay,
out
then it is the personal discipline.
Yeah.
Yes.
Understanding who one is.
there. Yes.
That is it.
These are some of the godly standards that need to uphold.
So when we are looking at the godly standards,
Yes.
if I don't follow the godly standards,
Mhm.
I am automatically following, you fall in all those, because you have automatically taken a different path, and remember, life is just as easy as the way nature is. If the sun goes down, darkness comes. If the sun comes up, light appears. That is how simple life is. So if I have chosen that I will follow the path, I will not follow those standards that are set by God, I automatically get into the worldly standards. And they have their consequences, including the confusion, including the pain, including the agony that brings with heartbreaks. And remember, there is no remedy for heartbreak. There isn't. Because if you're broken your heart by this other person and the other, that thing, you will live with it. Although, yes, you will come for counseling and we talk to you, there will always be a reminder that reminds of what happened. There are people who have been unable completely to get married because they got hurt in a certain relationship they were in. And of course the slogan came that men are dogs, and they are not. Because my father was not a dog. My husband is not one. I have 2 boys in my house and they are not dogs, they are men. It is simply because I over gave in myself. And especially at this point of dating.
Yes.
Please don't date in someone's house. If you are called into the house, that is not a date.
That's a marriage.
No, I don't know what it is. Maybe a brothel. I don't know what it is. Because when you close yourself, 2 of you single, not married, you close yourself in a house.
Sure.
And you are not even in a relationship yet. You are not planning to get married. You're just knowing each other. You are called into his house and he locks the, even if he has not locked. What are you doing in that house?
What are you doing in that brother's house for you to call them?
Even sister's house.
Even sisters are everyone is opening their houses.
Yes.
Loud and clear. Thank you, Katie Wanchiko.
Now, there's now the issue of, am I willing to compromise my standards for that person that I'm dating? I know for sure. Now, remember, I know myself. I've understood who I am. I have even set goals. I'm so clear about my destiny.
Yes.
So am I willing to compromise these standards so that I fit in?
Yeah.
Somebody else, sorry, that person who has come into my life.
Yes.
Because if that person, we are not at the same level, it will mean that I'll compromise my standards to be able to fit in their standards. And this one happens a lot. And that is where, of course, the question you are asking, that can I date a person who is not a believer, that is compromise. I have simply compromised my standards. I had said to not engage in sexual relationship before marriage. And this person came, and of course they were, and of course I hear them say that I didn't want him to feel bad. You know, now the way he has been buying gifts, and when we are at that, thank God it just came. The gift.
Did it come?
The gift. The biggest, please, young people, don't get into a date and start receiving gifts from the person of the opposite sex. Because with that gift, there is attachment. And that attachment has to be paid somehow.
Somehow, somewhere.
Even chips.
That's right.
So, you can of course receive like the buying of food and everything, but don't connect that gift to anything. But the moment, and of course this is a challenge. Remember, we are in a society that I personally I don't understand, because where I don't know who said that if I am in a dating someone that I immediately become their financier. I have not understood where that came from. That I dropped my ATMs and now we have to use his. I don't know where that came from. The moment we attach gifts to a date, we have lost it. We have lost the purpose of the dating. We will now not know each other. What we'll be doing is that I have to compensate for that gift that I was given. I have to pay for it. So of course, even when I am setting my standards and I'm saying I can't do these things, the question is, and all the things I have done for you, how can you do that to me? And of course I'm like, I don't want to do bad things to you. So, sour too, you know, I was not for it, but you know, because the way he has been so kind to me, now I just had to.
A lot of compromise.
Compromise comes again. So the compromise can be attached to the physical relation and also gifts. So be very careful, young people, of the gifts you receive, because you will definitely pay for them. They come with a cost.
They come with a cost. Someone said, and we're going to be corrected, but don't take that home. That is a time for you to pay for those gifts. Ensure there is. I'll request us to come to a close of this program. And we'll be picking it from there in our next show next week. That don't attach gifts to the dating. It is so huge. I see us taking another a series as we did in identity crisis, because I can see the same cropping up and the same coming in to this program. This has been Holistic Wellness, brought to you by Madam Anne Karambo Mwangi in association together with Salem Consultants, coming to you live on Facebook. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your feedback. All right, what's your parting short, Pastor, about today's topic?
My parting short is that the objective of God is to bring up a godly family. Thank you.
Great. The intention of God is to bring up a godly family. Okay, we'll be getting there.
Good. Of course, for me is anytime we are willing to compromise our standards and who we really are, it is a sign of immaturity, both intellectually, spiritually, and physically. So the moment we compromise our standards so that we can accommodate another person, it means we are immature.
And we are not ready.
Maturity, of course, means you're not ready.
You're not ready. That's a parting shot. See you next program. God bless you.
Motto.